Good evening and welcome to Red Dragon Ready Life on Campus. My name is Amanda Finch and I'm the Associate Vice President for Student Development here at Oneonta. We're thrilled to have this time with you tonight to talk about student life as a Red Dragon. As the newest members of our Red Dragon family, we want to start you off right, on the right foot here, and give you the information you need to grow and thrive at SUNY Oneonta. As you move through your orientation sessions, you'll take your first of many steps on a remarkable journey that's ahead of you. I want to assure you that every step of the way, you'll have a strong group of cheerleaders, supporters, mentors, and advisors here on campus to help you make the most of your time at SUNY Oneonta. During these virtual orientation sessions, as well as your session in August, you'll have the opportunity to learn more about strategies for adjusting to college successfully, getting involved on campus, what resources are available to you, and how to make good choices. These sessions provide practical and valuable information about the policies, programs, and services we have in place to promote a healthy environment that's supportive to your success as a student. I encourage you to get as much as you can out of every session. It will feel like a lot, but it's such good information. Tonight's program will be focused on residential community life and Oneonta Auxiliary Services. We'll hear from professionals in each of those areas who will detail for you what you can expect while living in our residence halls and what's available to you in our retail and dining venues across campus. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Ms. Kate McMichael, the Assistant Director of New Student Services, to get us started. Kate.
Thanks, Amanda. Good evening, everybody. We are so happy that you can join us for today's Red Dragon Ready session. Our format today will be both presentation and a Q&A. Each of our speakers will provide you with a brief introduction to their area and hopefully address many of the questions that are already on your mind. We will also have a chat room that's staffed with additional campus experts. They will respond to questions that may come up throughout the presentation. We will also be answering questions live at the conclusion of the formal presentation. To access the chat on a computer, you can hover over the bottom portion of your screen and a taskbar will pop up. Then you can click on the conversation bubble to access the chat. If you're on a mobile device, you should be able to find the conversation bubble in the upper right-hand corner. I would now like to introduce you to Ann Everett, who is the Assistant Director of Community Development and Programming in Residential Community Life. Hi, good evening, Ann.
Good evening, Kate. How are you tonight?
I'm excellent. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So good evening, folks. Thanks for joining us tonight. As Kate said, my name is Ann Everett, and I'm an Assistant Director here in the Department of Residential Community Life here on campus. I've been with the college for about 16 years now. And tonight I'm very excited to do one of my most favorite things is talk to incoming students and families like yourselves. So thank you for joining us tonight. Let's see. Just gonna turn up my volume a little bit here. Hold on 1 second, folks. Okay. So, and I chose the background specifically for you all tonight because I really wanted to help bring our residence halls closer to you all, spread all across New York State. So we're going to jump right in, as you can tell from the presentation, to talk about roommates. That's probably a topic on the mind of a lot of you students as well as family members. The roommate relationship between you and your roommate is a really, really important relationship for you to cultivate during your first year here at Oneonta. Our department, the Department of Residential Community Life, wants to work with you to make it a very successful one. And as with any healthy relationship, communication is key. We encourage you to start communicating with your roommates early and often before you come to campus. Some topic of conversations can, of course, focus around what you're bringing to campus. Okay, thank you, Karen. What you're bringing to campus, some items that you might be bringing for your room. Who's bringing what? A lot of compromise comes into the relationship early between you and your roommate. So why don't we start with who's bringing the microwave? If you bring the microwave, I'll bring the fridge. That way you don't have duplicates of what you need in the room, and you're also starting that compromising, respectful relationship early. Some other conversations about cleanliness. Who's tidy? Is neatness important to you? How much alone time do you need? And how are we going to decide who gets alone time in the room? And finally, what are we going to share? The TV, the food, the clothes. Those are all important things to kind of get the ball rolling in developing a respectful and positive relationship between you and your roommate. Some tips that we like to talk about in residence life is to really go into this relationship with expecting success. Be respectful of the other person. If something is bothering you, we encourage you to speak up early in the relationship. Compromise with your roommate when appropriate. Respect differences. We view those as opportunities to learn about another person. Residence life also provides roommate contracts. That sounds very technical, but what they are documents that will be gone over with you and your roommate with an RA to help discuss a lot of areas of conversation that roommates should have together. This will help you establish expectations of one another. The RAs, speaking of RAs, are student leaders there to help you in the residence hall. They've been hand selected based on their academic talents, their leadership skills, and their commitment to help students live and learn in the residence halls. They also create social and educational programs, and they guide students through their time here at Oneonta. If perhaps you have a challenging situation with a roommate arise, please reach out to your RA, your residence hall director, or your area coordinator. They have knowledge in conflict management, roommate contracts mediation, and a lot of skills to help you through any situation that should arise. We also do offer room changes if necessary. I'd like to talk a little bit more about room styles. A lot of you may have already been to campus and you might be familiar with our residence halls, but we have a couple of different types of halls. We have double style buildings, which house 2 students in a room. Those buildings are Littell, Toby, Golding, Wilbur, Hulbert, and Huntington. We also have quad style buildings. Those are 2 bedrooms with 2 students each and a shared common room for those 4 students. Those buildings are Hayes, Sherman, Grant, and Ford. We also have suite style buildings, which are 3 bedrooms that house 2 students each, a common room, and then a bathroom for those 6 students to share. Those buildings for the upcoming year are Curtis, Blodgett, and Madison. And finally, we have an apartment style building. Those are 3 to 4 bedrooms with 1 to 2 students each. They also have a common room, a bathroom, and a kitchenette to share for those students. And that building is Higgins Hall. Freshmen, you'll be assigned to a double or a quad style building. Transfers, you'll be assigned to any of the building options. All of you should have already received your room assignment, so you should know where you're living for the fall. For the most part, we're looking to group new students together on a wing or a floor of the building that you're assigned to. So while you will be in a building with sophomores, juniors, and seniors, there will be one section or multiple sections that are focused for freshmen or transfers. Since we're talking so much about our rooms, I would want to talk a little bit more about move-in day, because I'm sure that's a question that's on a lot of people's minds. What does move-in day look like? Well, for freshmen, the date is Wednesday, August 18th. For transfers, the day is Friday, August 20th. So students will be receiving an email very soon, hopefully this week, regarding their assigned move-in time. The reason why we have the assigned times is to stagger the amount of cars on campus, the amount of people wanting to get into the building at the same time, keep the flow of traffic moving. Also, a little later in the summer, we will be sending a snail mail letter to you, so be on the lookout with more directions about move-in day and also a large colored sheet of paper. That colored sheet of paper is important because it will direct you when you are moving in to the correct building on campus. Because since we have 14 residence halls that are open this fall, we want to make sure we get you right up to the door of the closest building, the closest door to the building that you're moving into. Let's see. To give you an idea of what's inspected on move-in day, cars will be directed by University Police to the students' residence halls. You'll get to park right by one of the doors for about 15 to 20 minutes max. Unload your car onto the sidewalk or the lawn, and then we would ask a driver move your car to a remote parking lot, and then they come back to your residence hall. At that same time, other move-in helpers that you bring with you will be starting to move your belongings from the lawn or sidewalk into your residence hall once the student has picked up the key and signed into the building. Let's see, next topic is amenities. So all of our residence halls have fitness centers. We are planning on having them open for the fall. They're currently pending service due to obviously not being used for the last year and a half. But campus fitness facilities are open as well for your use. All the residence halls have kitchens that are available for use as well. And front desks of every building have pots and pans, cookie sheets, utensils, and things for students to borrow. So don't worry about packing those. All the residence halls have lounges. Those lounges are awesome for hangout space, meeting spaces for clubs and organizations, study spaces. We have events, programs, and social events in those spaces as well. A note about storage, because this question sometimes comes up. Your room assignment is yours for the year. So students after the fall semester may leave their belongings in their room over the winter break. In May, when you leave us, you would have to take all of your belongings with you because we do not have storage in the residence halls over the summer. However, a lot of students do take advantage of local storage facilities to store some of their larger items that they don't necessarily want to take home, such as futons or refrigerators, things along those lines. Students even pair up with each other to share the cost of a locker as well. Some packing tips, what you should not pack and what you should pack. There is an excellent packing list on the ResLife website. That can probably be posted in the chat. In this excellent packing list, you'll find essentials, you'll find health and safety items, cooking and eating items, decor, clothing items, laundry, academic supplies. You know, a lot of people focus on bringing, you know, bed sheets and blankets and things like that. And then of course their clothing and room decor, but they sometimes forget about the basics, like Tylenol for your first headache, or index cards for studying, or flip-flops for the showers. Another piece of advice I like to share with folks is you don't need to pack everything for day one. Most students do go home at least once during the semester, possibly for a long weekend or at Thanksgiving break. So you don't necessarily need to bring all of your winter supplies with you on day one. You can go home maybe at Thanksgiving break, take home your sandals, bring up your gloves and your sweaters. Some other things we wanted to highlight about packing. We do not allow extension cords in the residence halls. We do allow surge protectors with a visible on-off switch and a circuit breaker in them. And that is dictated by fire safety policy. We are very, very concerned about keeping all of our students safe in the residence halls because we house many of them and we want them all to be safe and happy. So no extension cords in the residence halls, surge protectors with a visible on-off switch and a circuit breaker. We also don't allow, kind of for the same reasons, lamps or bed risers with outlets in them. Those have become more and more popular as retailers have caught on to the fact that students have a lot of electronics that they bring with them and they need a lot of space to charge things. So again, surge protectors with visible on-off switch. No more than 10% of the walls can be covered. Again, from a fire safety perspective, we want to make sure that there's limited flammable materials on the walls. If you choose to bring curtains, which you don't need to because all of our windows have blinds, but some people also like curtains for additional light coverage as well as decor. Those curtains need to be fire retardant, and the student also needs to keep the package or the certificate that comes with those curtains to show us when we have fire and safety inspections that the curtains are fire retardant. And then since it's a little toasty in Oneonta today, just wanted to remind you all to bring a fan as well. The first couple of weeks here in Oneonta are a little bit warm for the students, and we don't have air conditioning in all of the residence halls. So that's a little bit about packing, but definitely check out the packing list on our website as it's very thorough. Moving down our list, cleaning and sanitation. We definitely take this part of running a residence hall very seriously, as we have 2 to 3 full-time custodians assigned to each building to keep them clean and problem-free. For the shared bathrooms on the long hallways for students, they're cleaned daily. For the private bathrooms for students in the suites or the apartments, those are cleaned weekly by custodians, but we encourage students, if they feel the need to clean them more often, to take care of their own private bathrooms. The custodians also keep the common areas, the lounges, the kitchens, the hallways clean on a daily basis. They take care of snow removal around the buildings so that you can safely walk to and from campus and around to the dining halls. I'm sorry, to and from the academic buildings and to the dining halls. We do have a process for work requests. So if something should happen to, if your light bulb burns out or something like that, you can let us know. We'll get that fixed for you. And hand sanitizer. These days, hand sanitizer is everywhere. We have it all around our residence halls. You're more than welcome to bring some, but you will find it in our lounges, at our front desks. We want to keep everyone as safe and healthy as possible. Let's see, moving down our list, opportunities to interact. Now we're getting into my wheelhouse here. So the areas that I work with specifically are with the RAs and on programming and creating developmental experiences for all of you in the residence halls. So the RAs are, again, the student leaders that work in the residence halls, and part of their job is to create educational and social events for our residents. The topics are always based on student interest. So if there's something that you would like to see presented or a topic that you would like to learn about in the residence halls, definitely share that information with your RA. Hopefully you've already gotten to know them a little bit. And they will definitely work to make sure that we get those resources to you about topics that you're interested in. RAs also have periodic floor meetings with the students in their building to give updates, address any concerns that are going on in the building, and then also plan for those programs and socials. And finally, every residence hall has a residence hall government, which is an awesome way for new students to get involved in our campus leadership experience. You, as living in the residence halls, will be able to elect students to your residence hall government. They meet weekly. They plan programs for the building, again, educational or social, whatever sounds fun. And it's a great way to learn some leadership skills and get to know the Oneonta community a little bit better. We really are striving to make the residential living experience a great place for you. We highly encourage you to get involved and to make this experience your own. And finally, wanted to touch on some leadership opportunities. I've mentioned RAs a few times. Every semester, we do hire resident assistants in our residence halls. You do need a 2.5 GPA, as well as be in good standing with the college. Hall government, as described above, fantastic way to get involved. What better item to put on your resume as a freshman or a transfer to say I'm the president of Golding Hall. And finally, an additional opportunity is a paid responsibility called a night host. We do employ night hosts in our residence halls. They're students that are hired to sit at the front desk late in the evening or high traffic times, answer questions that people have, sign in guests if we do end up allowing guests in the residence halls, do rounds of the building, looking for safety concerns and things along those lines. So we really would love to see you get involved in our campus life in whatever way sounds most enjoyable to you. And it looks like I'm just about at the end of my time. So I would like to hand the presentation over to Diane Williams, who is our Executive Director of the Oneonta Auxiliary Services.
Good evening, everyone. I am Diane Williams. I work for the Organization of Ancillary Services, Oneonta Auxiliary Services, also known as OAS. And we provide a variety of essential services to the campus to provide the comforts of home. On the chat is my colleague, Darren Lyons, who's our Manager of Business Operations. He'll be answering questions in the chat, and then a little bit later, Kate McMichael will be posing questions. You can always go to our website or email us if you have any additional questions. So I'm going to run through many services that we provide. The first one is our ID dining card. We have sent you several messages asking you to send in a selfie photo and instructions on how to do that. That way we make you an ID card with a photograph that you like. If you did send it in, they will be ready for you when you arrive on campus in the fall. We will be outside the Red Dragon Outfitters building, and we will be in a tent passing out those cards. And if by some chance you weren't able to send in a selfie, you can just go right in the store and we'll make your card. So the ID card serves several purposes, so I just can't stress enough how important it is that you hold on to it. It is your official college ID. It is how you have access to residence halls and other buildings on campus. It's your dining card. It's how you purchase items from vending and retail dining. It's your library card, your bus pass, and how you'll make Dragon Dollar purchases. And I'll talk about Dragon Dollars in just a minute. Probably the most visible thing that I'm responsible for is dining. And we have a great dining plan. Our dining services are managed by Sodexo. They are the leading provider of collegiate food services. We have restaurant branded stations. Each dining hall is unique. And what's great about our dining plan is it's unlimited and students can often as they like in the dining halls. We are going to be offering both dine-in and takeout options in the fall. And students cannot run out of their meal plan because it is unlimited. Dining is available breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night. And we're going to be following the best advice of the CDC, the New York State Department of Health, Sodexo, and SUNY about best practices for providing your dining. Right now, the plan is that if you are vaccinated, no masks will be needed in the dining hall. And if you are not yet vaccinated, masks will be required when you enter the dining hall until the point that you sit down to eat. Your dining plan also includes 325 retail dining dollars that can be used in retail operations and vending machines. And I'm going to go into that in just a moment. I wanted to give you some idea about the dining stations. We have a wild mushroom, which is vegetarian and vegan. We have a pizza and pasta station. We have deli and soups. We have garden tosses where we make salads to order. We have the Flying Star Diner, which serves grilled items and breakfast all day. We have a station called Simple Servings, which is allergen-free ingredients. We have comfort food at the Daily Dish. And we also have mindful meals, which are under 600 calories and are available throughout the stations. You just have to look for signs. Our dining hall, Wilsbach Hall, offers the largest selection for special dietary needs and preferences. Examples are vegan, vegetarian, low calorie, lactose-free, gluten-free, nut-free, soy-free, dairy-free, shellfish-free, etc. You get the idea. In addition, we have Salsa Rico, which is south of the border, a wrap station, garden toss I've mentioned already. We have Lemongrass Kitchen, which is very popular, featuring Southeast Asian cuisine. And we also have Farm Fresh Food, which serves farm-to-table food. In Mills Dining Hall, we have My Kitchen, which is very unique. There are 4 cooking stations, each with different ingredients. We'll give you lessons, we'll give you the ingredients, and we even clean up after you. We do have a chef that will be in there certain days of the week showing us some of their signature dishes as well. In terms of our retail dining operations, we have the Mills Marketplace, which is a convenience store, also selling pizza, deli, sushi, and smoothies. We have a Starbucks, which is located in the Hunt Union. Seasons, which is in Fitzel Hall and features local organic seasonal menus. And we have Argo Tea, which is our newest venue located in the Milne Library. We recently added an app called Get. Oh my goodness. Okay. My desk is rising. Okay, bringing it down. I hit a button. We have a new app called the Get app, so you can order ahead online, and you can order, pay, and there's an express pickup, and this will be available at our retail locations. So students on the resident dining plan already have $325 on their account to be used in retail dining and vending. And when you get your ID dining card, we're going to give you a little sheet that tells you all about dining. I don't expect you to remember it all now. Now, in the event that you end up in quarantine or isolation, we will be providing you meals, delicious meals, and we would be contacting you as soon as we heard that you were moved into either quarantine or isolation. We'll contact you directly, and we will give you many menu options. Students in quarantine and isolation have 2 deliveries each day, providing 3 meals. Deliveries are brunch and dinner includes a continental breakfast for the next morning. So prior to arriving on campus, you will receive a survey to indicate your specific dietary needs. So please respond to this survey. It's very helpful to us to provide exceptional service in the event that you are in quarantine or isolation. OAS is also responsible for vending machines, and they're located throughout the campus, and you can use retail dining dollars, Dragon dollars, credit, debit cards, or even cash to make those purchases. We also provide the Damascene Bookseller, which provides textbooks. It's located in the Red Dragon Outfitters building, and they offer new, used ebooks and rentals at very competitive prices. And you will be able to pre-order your books as soon as your schedule is determined. You can do that online. You'll pull up your schedule, and it'll bring you to a link for the bookstore, and it will explain all the books that are available to you and all the different formats that you have choices for. If you have any questions or concern, you can always call or email Damascene, and they will personally help you. We also own and operate the Red Dragon Outfitters store, which is located in the Red Dragon Outfitters building. We have school supplies, so if you forgot those 3x5 note cards, or you need to buy some Tylenol, or you want some gift items, you want some clothing or other memorabilia, you can do that. And if you want to buy something now, you can go to the reddragonoutfitters.oneonta.edu. We've got a great online store if you'd like to buy something in advance. OAS is responsible for providing the laundry machines in the laundry rooms, which are located throughout the residence halls. We offer energy efficient front-loading machines. As a result, we ask that you use only high efficiency liquid detergent, and that you put the pods in with the clothes, not where the liquid goes. 2 great things about laundry: the laundry fee is included in your housing fee, so you don't have to pay anything extra to wash your clothes. And we also have something called Laundry View, whereby you'll be able to log on and see what machines are available. It'll let you know what washers and dryers are available, and it will also send you a text message when your cycles are done. I mentioned Dragon dollars a couple of times, so I want to explain to you what they are. Dragon dollars is an optional campus spending account. It's very separate from retail dining dollars. If you are on the unlimited dining plan, you have retail dining dollars. Dragon dollars are something that you add to your account. They can be used for textbooks, which is very helpful if you want to purchase textbooks before your financial aid has come in, and your financial aid will cover the cost of textbooks. When you pay your bill, just note on there that you would like Dragon dollars, and we will provide the funds until your loans or scholarships come in. You can also pay parking permits and fees, print quotas. There are some off-campus restaurants that participate in Dragon dollars. The Outdoor Resource Center has trips. College Union Activities has trips. You can buy concert tickets from them. Our Dragon Express shipping services takes Dragon dollars, and so does the campus print shop. So you can add Dragon dollars when paying your bill, or visit the ID dining card office when you're on campus, or you can go online and do that. I mentioned the Get app before, and I just want to suggest that you register with the Get app, and you can add retail or Dragon Dollars to your account through that app. You can order for express takeout at retail locations. You can also check your account balance, report a lost card, and review your transactions. We also do check cashing and ATMs in the ID dining desk in the back of the Red Dragon Outfitters. We do cash personal checks and off-campus payroll checks, and also college refund checks and campus payroll checks. We do charge $1 for cashing any checks. We also provide ATMs in the Hunt Union and Mills Hall. There is a transaction fee for non-customers, and those financial institutions that we're currently working with are Community Bank, NBT, and Sydney Federal Credit Union. Another service we provide are microfridges and room safes. You can rent a microfridge, a room computer, a cube refrigerator, or a room safe from the refrigerator leasing company. Their safes are large enough to hold a laptop, and they drop off the refrigerator and pick it up. So once you know who your roommate is, you might want to discuss the possibility of renting that. One of the most beautiful facilities we own and operate is College Camp. If you like the outdoors or wilderness, this is a great place for you to explore. It's a 276-acre recreational and educational facility. It's located 1.5 miles from campus. We often have hikes available. You can also ride a mountain bike with many trails. There's mountain biking, camping, hiking, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, basketball, frisbee, and more. And the college also owns an observatory, so they often have night viewing activities there. I want to thank you for your interest and attention as I've reviewed all of this. Obviously, there will be a lot of questions. We will be around to answer them when you arrive on campus, but I'm going to pass this back to Kate McMichael now, who will moderate some of your questions. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you to Diane. Like there's a little feedback here. So we are going to get right into the question portion of tonight's session. And Anne, we're going to start with you. There's lots of questions about living on campus, as you can imagine. So the first question that I'd like to ask you is, when a student is preparing to pack to come to Oneonta, what's provided already in the rooms for them?
Sure, thanks for the question, Kate. In our rooms, we provide the bed, the desk and chair, and the dresser, as well as a floor lamp or a ceiling lamp. Residence hall rooms also have closets, either built in to the room or a wardrobe, which is kind of a movable unit. So that is what's provided in the room.
That's great, thanks, Anne. And we're going to stay right with you as we kind of look into what different types of rooms somebody might be assigned to. And I understand that sometimes we get a lot of information all at once, so there's maybe folks who are also wondering, can you explain the difference between a double style room, a quad style room, and a suite style room for us?
Sure, absolutely. And they are hard to envision them, especially if you've never visited the residence halls before, but a double style room is 1 bedroom for 2 people. Then we would move over to a quad style room. In the quad style buildings, you have 2 bedrooms, so 2 people live here, 2 people live here, and you have a common room in the middle that connects them, so like a living room. So that's a quad style building, and the bathroom for those folks, for both the double style and the quad style, is on the long hallway. So you really get a chance to come out of your room and interact with the students that live on your floor. The suite style building, most of the rooms are 3 bedrooms of 2 people each. So it's a total of 6 people that live together. They have a common room or a living room that connects all of the bedrooms, and then they have a private bathroom just for those 6 people. And then the apartment style buildings, Higgins Hall is unique. It's kind of our standalone apartment style building, but it has between 3 and 4 rooms we do have some singles in that building as well for possibly upper class students who are interested in a little bit more privacy. And And in the suite style buildings the apartment style buildings, that is 1 to 2 people living in 3 to 4 bedrooms, a living room, a bathroom, just for those folks, and a small kitchenette in that area. So again, a little bit more privacy, a little bit more independence in the apartment style buildings.
We have a lot of options here for living.
We do. We try to cater to everyone's needs.
That's great. We're going to move things over to Diane now. Diane, can you tell us a little bit more about how somebody might navigate all of the eateries on campus who might suffer from some food allergy issues?
Certainly. Well, the first thing I would love that person to do is to provide answers to the survey that we sent, so we can know exactly what the situation is. The bottom of that survey, it will say, would you like us to set up a meeting with our registered dietitian? And basically that registered dietitian will meet with you, or it might be the head chef of a dining hall. They will meet with you and they will find out specifically what your needs are, and they will take you from station to station to station, finding out what you can eat and making sure that you are being provided with delicious, safe meals. So it's really done on a one-on-one individual basis, and it seems to work extremely well.
Thank you. Dan, we're going to stay with you for just a moment. Can you tell us a little bit more about campus employment for students? If they're interested in finding a job on campus, can they potentially work in the dining hall?
They can, and it's a great way to earn money. We do pay the fast food minimum wage, which is up there right now. I think it's $15 an hour. We are flexible. We do ask that we do work around your class schedule, certainly. And it's a great way to, if you're interested in the food service industry, it's a great way to get some experience and a great way to meet people as well. Our dining halls are very hands-on in terms of food preparation and service. We are very customer-based, and it is a fun place to work. If you're interested in getting a job in a dining hall, you would just go and ask to speak to the manager of that particular dining hall. And we do hire about 200 students each semester.
Sounds like an excellent opportunity. Thank you. Anne, I'd like to ask you a similar question. Are there opportunities for students to work within the Department of Residential Community Life?
Sure thing. We hire quite a few students throughout the year. As mentioned a little bit earlier, we do employ resident assistants, which are student leaders that are hired to assist our students in their growth with their academic needs, provide educational and social programs in the residence halls, and really be a resource to our students. There is a compensation package that goes along with that student leadership position. We employ night hosts, which is a paid position where students sit at the front desks late at night or high traffic times of the week, and they sign in guests when guests are allowed. They look for safety concerns by doing rounds of the building. They answer questions for students in the building. They're a general resource for people. And office assistants, that was the third one that I was trying to remember. If you receive federal work study, we have office assistants who sit at our front desk in the residence halls during the week, and again, assist the residence hall director with jobs that need to get done, answer questions for students in the building, create bulletin boards, work with the RAs on anything that they need assistance with. So some great opportunities for paid positions in the residence halls as well.
Thanks, Anne. We'll stay with you for another question. Thinking about move-in day and relying on guests to help students move in, do we have guidance yet of what move-in day will look like, or do you know when we'll find out more about what move-in day will look like?
Sure, that's a great question. We have a fairly good handle on what move-in day will look like at this point. It will be very similar to our traditional move-in days in that freshmen will join us on the 18th, transfers will join us on the 20th, and they are allowed to bring friends and family members that they would like to help them move in their belongings. So it is a little bit of a labor intensive day. So maybe think about that when you're asking friends and family to help. But yeah, we would love to have folks come and assist you in moving your stuff into your room and taking photos in your new space and meeting your roommate and things along those lines.
Lovely, thank you. Diane, we're going to move over to you now. We had some questions come in about sending in their selfie, and can you explain what happens if a student isn't able to do that, and where they get their ID card once they move in?
Okay, so if you're not able to send in your selfie, if you can't send it in, not a problem. As soon as you arrive on campus, you're going to want to come to the Red Dragon Outfitters building. There'll be a tent outside, we'll be greeting people, and you will go in the store, in the Red Dragon Outfitters store, to the back of the store. There's an ID dining office, and we will make your card for you then and there. So we'll take your photo and we'll produce the card right then and there. There was a second question. Oh, anybody who sent in their selfie will be able to pick it up at the tent outside of the building the day they arrive.
Excellent. And I think the other question is, what's the most convenient thing for a student to do? Send in their selfie ahead of time just to pick up their ID card?
Yeah, because then there are two things. Imagine a day of moving in with your family and it's hot and you're sweaty, and now I have to take your photograph. That's not a pleasant situation. The selfie has kind of eliminated that. We have much more glamorous photos now as a result of that. I mean, we do take really great photos at the ID office, but it is a real convenience. So if you can do it, take the time to do it. And now while it's quieter on campus, we can get those ID cards all ready for you. It's just a faster experience. But if for some reason you didn't do it, you're not in trouble. We still love you. We're going to take that photo and we're going to make you an ID card. Not a problem.
Excellent, thank you. And so I think I see in the chat, our chat folks have added some information for folks if you have questions about the selfies. But Diane, let's stay with you for a moment. Can you explain a little bit more about how somebody gets the Get app and what exactly they should be using it for?
Okay, so the Get app is, you would go on your phone or your iPad to wherever you purchase apps, and this is called Get, G-E-T, Get app, and you would log in with your username and password, and it would connect to your account. And then you would be able to see, it'll give you options of where you can purchase things if you wanted to order something from Starbucks, if you wanted to see what your account balance was, how much of that 325 retail dining dollars you have left, etc. All of that information is contained therein.
Excellent. I will admit that I enjoy the Get app when I need to do a mobile order for Starbucks. And can I ask you a couple of questions about the physical room? When a student moves in, are they able to raise their bed? Do they need to bring bed risers, or is the room furniture able to be modified?
Great, thanks for that question, Kate. So bed risers are allowed in the residence halls. That is not a problem if you want to purchase them and bring them. My own personal opinion, they're not necessary because we have awesome beds that you can set to a low level, a medium level, or a bunked level. So you have multiple options. And again, I think that sometimes this might be something that you want to talk to your roommate about ahead of time, especially if you want to loft beds and put some furniture under them, which is an option. You can move a desk under or a dresser under if you have it at a lofted height. You can also bunk the beds with your roommate. So you might want to talk about who would like the higher bunk and who would like the lower bunk. But yeah, there's 3 awesome heights plus a bunked option. So you can definitely modify the furniture, the bed, to whatever satisfies your taste, as long as it works with your roommate. A lot of people like the raised lofted bed or the bunked bed because it gives you more space in the room. But again, it's totally personal preference. The beds will be raised up to about 3 feet underneath the bed. We call it a lofted stage. I'm sorry, we don't call it a lofted stage. What is the word? Just it's at a raised height for move-in day typically. But if that's not the height you want it at, we have custodians that are working on move-in day as well as throughout the rest of the week that can help you move the bed to the height that you want it with your roommate. So yeah, there's a lot of options with that. The desks are movable, the chairs are movable, the dressers are movable. So you have a lot of options to kind of on how you want to set up your space. Also on our website, you'll find some fairly standardized floor plans, the size of the room, so you can check out the square footage of some of the rooms in each of the residence halls, each of the types of the residence halls. So sometimes that helps you gather, if you're a very spatially oriented person, it helps you kind of grasp the size of your room a little bit more. Yeah, I think that answers your question, Kate.
It does, and I have more, speaking of roommates. So you recommend to chat with your roommate to kind of get a sense of who's bringing what and how you'd like the room to be rearranged. But what if your roommate isn't responding? Do you have any advice for what a student might do in that particular instance?
Sure. I imagine that, you know, you're very excited and you want to reach out to your roommate and get to know them a little bit. And then if they're not responsive to you, that could be a little bit of a letdown. So I get that. Certainly, I would encourage you to try a couple of different methods of trying to reach your roommate. If perchance that's not working, you could certainly call our office. We'd be happy to kind of assist you in that because certainly we want you to start that relationship out on the right foot and early so that you can both prepare for coming to campus and packing your belongings and gathering any supplies you might need to buy. So yeah, if you're running into that challenge, you know, that can be really frustrating and we don't want you to sit there just being frustrated about it. There might be a reason why your roommate's not responding and we can maybe help with that. So give us a call.
Thank you. And I'm sure that our chat folks will include all of our ResLife contact information in the chat. And now we're going to hop back over to Diane. Diane, can you tell us more about renting a micro fridge and what that might look like and the delivery and pickup of that fridge?
Sure. So on our website, oas.oneonta.edu, there are links to the refrigerator leasing company. It is a local company, and you can order whatever that you're looking for, whether it be a micro fridge, a room safe, or a cube refrigerator. They will work with you. That will establish a day and time that they're going to deliver them to your building because they do several orders at once. They'll have certain days and times they deliver it, and then they pick it up. And so it's very convenient. The company is owned and operated by a local alumnus. He's very reputable and provides excellent service.
Thank you. Staying with you, I'm going to ask you the age-old question. Can you explain the difference between dining dollars and Dragon dollars?
Yeah, yes, I can. Okay, so retail dining dollars are part of the meal plan. So if you're on the unlimited dining plan, they are part of your meal plan. You have $325 of them. They are only used for dining because they are part of a tax-exempt meal plan. They can be carried over from fall to spring, but they can never be refunded. But I can assure you that it is not difficult to spend $325 retail dining dollars in a semester. So they are tax exempt, they're only used on campus, and they're used for food items only. Dragon dollars are something that you choose to put on your account. They can be used for a variety of items, both food and non-food. They are taxable purchases. They can be used on campus and off campus.
Thank you. And Diane, staying with you, if I'm not mistaken, that all that information is also located on your website as well, right? Yep.
It is. It is.
That's
yes.
Great. Can you also explain if I wanted to go in to grab lunch, can I take it out of the dining hall and where would I take it?
Yes, we have a great unlimited program, and it used to be pre-COVID that you could have 5 takeouts a week. Because we really do encourage people to dine in. That's how you get to know people. That's when you share a meal that such great conversation occurs. It's time to unplug and talk to people. But we also recognize during COVID, actually during COVID, all of our meals were takeout. We added dine-in toward the end of the semester. So we've decided for the fall, we're going to let students decide if they'd like to dine in or take out. And when you go into the dining hall, there's a cashier there. They're super friendly and helpful. And they're just going to ask you, are you dining in or taking out today? If you're dining in, they'll help you find a seat. If you are doing takeout, they will give you a container that we sanitize in between uses. Everyone gets 2 containers on their account. They'll go and take that account and they can fill it with as much food as humanly possible to put in that container. And then we ask that you bring it back the next time. Don't bring it if you haven't finished your meal, like empty it out, but we will clean it and sanitize it in our dishwashers that reach incredibly hot temperatures and sanitize them. So we take responsibility for that.
That sounds lovely. Thank you. Anne, we're going to come back over to you in the world of residential community life. Can you tell us more about what Move-In Day, more specifically, what's available to help folks move into the residence halls? Is there equipment available, elevators, volunteers? Can you share a little bit more about what that looks like?
Absolutely, Kate. So Move-In Day is a very, very exciting day on campus. There's a lot of energy, a lot of cars, a lot of people, a lot of boxes and totes, but it's a great day. We're very excited to see you all on Move-In Days. So what's available? Every residence hall has a fair number of carts for people to use, to borrow, which is awesome. Sometimes they can be a little deceiving in how helpful they would be because there's stairs. There's stairs all over the place in the residence halls. So some people do choose to bring their own hand truck. If they have a hand truck, you're welcome to bring that. That might assist in going up and down stairs a little bit easier than some of the carts we have. So those are available. A lot of our residence halls have elevators. Most of our double style buildings do not, but all of the other residence halls have elevators. Some are passenger elevators, some are freight elevators. So if you're in a building that simply has a freight elevator, you're welcome to move your belongings or your students' belongings into the elevator, and then we'll send it to the floor that your student's on, and then you can walk up the stairs. Just for safety purposes, we don't want passengers in the freight elevators. So yeah, elevators are available in a lot of our buildings. Staff that's around to help, we'll have a lot of staff on hand that day. It's a day or multiple days that almost everybody on campus is here and available to help. We have anywhere between 8 and 12 RAs in every building. So they're there to answer questions, give directions, show you where the bathrooms are, walk you to your room, give you your key, answer every question you can possibly think of, as well as a professional staff member in the building, either a residence hall director, an area coordinator, who are a full-time professional staff member that works in the building, that's there 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, to help your students should they need it, should there be an emergency. So they will be on hand for Move-In Day. Then we have a lot of campus volunteers that you will see as soon as you hit campus, at the entrance, at a lot of the intersections, directing traffic. You will meet a lot of our campus volunteers that are helping with Move-In Day, at the residence halls, showing you where to park, how to unload your belongings, directing you where to go, showing you where the next parking lot is, things along those lines. Diane and her staff are going to be up at the Union and at the Red Dragon Outfitters, helping students and family members get the supplies they need to start their time at Oneonta. The dining halls will be open. Everyone on campus will be kind of up and ready to go. So it's really all hands on deck for Move-In Day. Yes,
I must admit, Move-In Day on our campus is one of my favorite days because everyone comes out of the woodwork to welcome our new students, and it's delightful to see. And we're going to stay right with you again because there's lots of questions about requesting to loft your bed. What's the process for that?
Sure. It's a kind of a two-step process. When you get to your residence hall, you definitely want to check out the situation of your bed. If you've already decided ahead of time with your roommate, you can go ahead and let the staff know. You'll get your name on a list, and the custodians that are working that day will go down the list and they'll say, okay, room 102 wants a bunk bed. We're headed to room 102 to bunk some beds. So that's the process for actual move-in day. If there's more requests than they can handle in one day, which sometimes happens, they'll start that list again the next day, and they will start bunking those beds or lofting those beds in the order in which they were requested. So it's kind of a two-step process. They'll do it on move-in day if they can, and if not, they'll start first thing the next morning.
Excellent. Diane, let's head on over to you now. Can you explain to us, there's some really great amenities offered by our dining folks, one being My Kitchen. Can you walk us through how a student might utilize My Kitchen?
Sure. So My Kitchen is extremely unique. It's a concept that we developed on our campus because we know some students like to cook, and we know some students would like to learn how to cook. And sometimes people just feel like whipping up something. So we have 4 different cooking stations in My Kitchen, which is located in Mills Hall, and they are themed differently. And we have a new executive chef who is kind of retheming things, which is great. And so there's always an attendant there, and they would help you. If you wanted a recipe, we'll give you one. If you want instruction, we'll give you that as well. And then there's also within My Kitchen, there's an exhibition kitchen, and that's where one of our chefs might be whipping up a special lunch, or some days they might be making cookies, and hot cookies will be coming out of the oven. So there's My Kitchen is definitely a place that you want to check out.
Excellent, thank you. And can we hop over, speaking of kitchens, what kind of cooking facilities are available for students who are living in all of these different types of buildings?
Sure thing. So all of our residence halls have kitchens that are available for everyone's use. As I mentioned a little earlier, Higgins, folks living in Higgins have a small kitchenette, but all students can use the shared kitchens in all of the residence halls. They have microwave, oven, stovetop, range, obviously, and a sink for folks, as well as a refrigerator. So students can utilize that. A lot of students love to, branch out from the dining halls every once in a while and cook their own meal. Maybe share some of their family recipes with their new friends. Cook something that feels a little bit like home. As well as, Saturday night cookie baking, or my friend's birthday is tomorrow and we want to make them a cake. And like I mentioned earlier, we do have supplies at the front desks of the residence halls, so don't feel like you need to run out and buy cookie sheets and spatulas and things along those lines. We do have those for students to borrow at our front desk if you feel like, making some homemade mac and cheese or cookies for the floor. We have those kitchen facilities available to everyone.
Thank you, Anne. Some other questions about move-in. That seems to be a hot topic this evening, rightfully so. It's right around the corner. It's getting closer than we realize, I think. A question that I really liked that I saw in the chat is, do you recommend students label all their items on move-in day? Is that required or a recommendation?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's not required, but I think it's a fantastic idea. If you think about the process, we have cars will be moving up to the door in front of the building as close as we can possibly get you to the residence hall you're moving into. You're going to be unloading the car either onto the sidewalk or onto the lawn, and then the driver is going to move the car, and then the student or other family member can stay with the belongings or start moving them up to the room. So if perchance something gets left behind or something gets moved, if it's clearly labeled with, say, your last name and your room number, it will easily get to you. So I think that that's a great idea. Again, not recommended, but certainly I see no harm in doing it, and I see a lot of benefits.
Thank you. Another move-in question for you, Anne. Will there be specific scheduled timeframes for a student to move in, and how will they find out that information?
Sure, great question. So shortly, you will be getting an email that gives you information about, let me just double check here my email information. We're hoping to get that email out this week, but that will give you the time of your move-in assignment. So go ahead, when you get that email, take a look. We do that so that we can stagger the amount of cars, so we can get you as close to the door of the residence hall that you're moving into as possible. And again, to keep the flow of traffic through our residence halls. So that's going to give you the time that you can move in. If perchance that absolutely can't work for you, please give us a call and we'll be happy to work with you. But hopefully you all have it marked on your calendars already that it's move-in day, and it's a very exciting day for us. So we want to work with you to make it work for you. So take a look when you get that email and let us know if you have questions.
Thank you. I think it's time to head on over to Diane now. Can I ask you some questions about the dining plans? Can you tell us more specifically what dining plan new students will have, and then as they progress throughout their career at Oneonta, what dining plans they can potentially choose?
Okay, so all resident students are on our unlimited dining plan unless they live in Higgins Hall. Okay, that plan, because everyone is on that plan, creates so many efficiencies. A lot of colleges might have a 10 meal a week plan, a 12 week, a 10 meal, 12, 15, 19 meals. Our unlimited plan is actually cheaper than all of those plans. There are a lot of efficiencies and economies of scale by having everybody on the same plan, because we know where they're going and we can plan our food accordingly. We also cut down on a lot of food waste by we can predict who's coming to our dining halls. The cost of the plan is $2,500 per semester. That includes the unlimited access to the dining hall as well as the $325 retail dining dollars. There is a reduced meal plan for students living in Higgins Hall. That's because they have kitchens and it assumes that they're going to be doing a lot of cooking. If a student lives off campus, they can purchase a commuter plan, and there are several different amounts applied to those.
Excellent, thank you. Diane, I think we're going to stay right with you for just a moment more. I have Laundry View up right now on my other monitor, and I think it's such a neat feature that we offer. Can you explain to us a little bit more about how a student can utilize that website?
Right, so you would go to Laundry View and you would log on as being Oneonta, and you would find your residence hall. And it will show you that the laundry rooms are different in a lot of the buildings. Some of the buildings have one laundry room. Some of the buildings have several laundry rooms. So you would look for the laundry rooms in your building, and it will tell you which washing machine and or dryer is available. And you can go and use that machine, and you can also set it up that it will text you when it is done, so you know to get your clothes. It's very handy when it works. Technology is wonderful when it works, and when it's not, we'd love to hear from you so that we can fix it.
What a great feature, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got some more questions, specifically about roommates. If a student doesn't see that they have a roommate assignment, what should they do? And are those assignments final? Will they be able to make changes down the road? What does that look like?
Great question. We can, yes, so the roommate assignments, they are final from our perspective. No other adjustments are going out. However, if there's something that you're not happy about. So say you don't have a roommate and you really wanted a roommate. We want to make you happy. So please call our office or go right to our website and get on the waiting list and let us know that you would like a roommate. And if a roommate becomes available, we will put that person in your space or ask you if you want to move to another space with another person. Because again, we want you to be happy in your residence hall room. We want you to be happy in your space. Some people are okay with not having a roommate, and some people are saying, absolutely, I want a roommate. So yes, we will We're working through that wait list. I believe as of this morning, we were all caught up. But if you have, based on tonight's conversation, if there's something that you would like, say you would like to, I don't even know, whatever your request is, go ahead and put it in our wait list, and we will do our best to address it in a very timely fashion. Like I said, we're working on it every day. So it's not a wait list that's just going to get accumulated and never addressed. It's something we are actively working on daily. So put your requests in there. We'll do what we can to accommodate those requests.
Thanks, Anne. And we're going to stick with you for some more. We got some questions about cleaning. Are students responsible for cleaning their own spaces? What role does the folks that work in the building, like the custodial folks, what role do they play in making the communal spaces clean?
Sure, that's a great question. So we at SUNY Oneonta are welcoming your students to campus as adults. So we do want them to clean up after themselves. Absolutely. They are responsible for cleaning their own room, their own bedroom, in conjunction with their roommate. With regard to bathrooms, of course, we want everyone to stay healthy and hygienic. So custodians will go in and disinfect and clean the bathrooms. The shared common bathrooms, they go in on a daily basis. For the suites and apartment style buildings where there's private bathrooms inside the room, just for those students, the custodians will work with the students to establish a schedule of when they will come in once a week, say Thursday mornings at 10. The custodians will knock on the door, come into the room, clean that bathroom for the students. Again, we want it to be, sanitized and keep everybody healthy and hygienic situations going on in the rooms for students. And then custodians, the paid custodians in the buildings, they will go through every day and sweep and mop the floors, the stairwells, wipe down high touch areas such as door handles, light switches, things along those lines. They take care of snow removal around the building so that people can get in and out safely. Yeah, and we ask if students are using, say, a lounge or a kitchen, that they certainly clean up after themselves. So if you go ahead and make that birthday cake, we are going to need you to wash the dishes behind you. Again, there's supplies that could be borrowed or you might have your own. But to keep tidy behind you in utilizing your space, because again, there are anywhere from 200 to 350-ish students living on our buildings. So our 2 or 3 custodians can't keep up with cleaning up 100% behind all the students. So we do have an expectation that students are being tidy and keeping their spaces clean, being responsible for it. For example, if you're brushing your teeth in a common bathroom and there's a glob of toothpaste that falls in the sink, wipe it up. It's super helpful because there's 20 people that use that bathroom. If 20 people all leave their globs of the glob of toothpaste in the sink, then it gets to look, really like people aren't caring for the community. So we ask students to take a personal responsibility to keep their spaces clean and the shared spaces clean. Does that fully answer your question, Kate?
I think so. Yeah, that was great. Thank you. And if memory serves, there also may be some equipment that folks can rent from the front desks of their buildings to use.
Absolutely. Most of the buildings have vacuums that you could borrow to clean your own space. If you have, if your rug is looking pretty shabby, go ahead and borrow one of our vacuums if you don't have one yourself. We have brooms, dustpans, Lysol cleaning wipes if you need to wipe down bathroom sinks and things along those lines. If perchance your building doesn't have a supply that you need or you would like your building to have, mention it to an RA, your hall director, or hall government. Become involved in hall government because hall government does have a budget to do hall improvements. So if you have maybe a vacuum that's a year old and it's not quite doing the trick that you need, go to hall government and say, hey, I think we need to invest in a new vacuum. Or we don't have Lysol wipes, and that would be really helpful for us in keeping up after ourselves in the bathrooms, keeping the sinks clean. And that's something that the hall could invest in as well for everybody's benefit.
That's great. I think there are some folks who are maybe checking some of their Oneonta portals and realizing that they still haven't yet made contact with their roommate. And I know that we've touched on this a little bit, but can you help our students understand all of the different ways that they should be able to look up an email, check the housing portal? What are some of the platforms that they should be using to find their roommate, to make contact, to start planning for the fall?
That's a great question. So we do have a directory on the Oneonta website, so you can certainly search your incoming roommate. Sorry about that. Through that. Let's see. That's a good question. It should be in your Oneonta portal. You can certainly, like I said, call our office if you have questions. We can help you with that. Is there something I'm missing, Kate?
Well, I was wondering about the housing portal in particular, and what functions that might offer a student to use to connect with other students.
That's a great question. I'm not 100% sure on that one, Kate.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to put a pause on that one.
No problem. We'll get, that was my own personal question, so I'm gonna go and refer to our chat folks.
I was gonna say, is someone in the chat have that answer possibly?
I'm sure we've got lots of experts in the chat. And let's talk about the happenings in the residence halls. What is there for students to do outside of classes if they don't want to leave their building? What's offered for them?
Sure. Well, alluding to campus has a ton of events that are happening all of the time, day and night on campus. Also in the residence halls, we have programs put on by RAs, by hall governments. Once they're up and running, we have both educational programs, social programs. We could have virtual programs, in-person programs, excuse me. Basically anything based on your interest of an educational and social nature.
Okay, thank you. If somebody looks in the housing portal and realizes that they haven't yet been assigned a roommate, will they be assigned one? Will they need to move to another and be roommates with another person in another room somewhere? What does that look like if they don't have a roommate yet?
All right, can you hear me? Oh, good. So, excuse me, a little bit of a choking fit here. If you don't have a roommate right now, you may or may not get one. It just depends on, excuse me, what opens up. If we have a student that possibly decides not to come to Oneonta for some reason, then their roommate is going to have a space left over. So there's a good chance we would pair those two students together so that they have the option to have a roommate and have the traditional Oneonta experience that they were looking for.
Great, thanks, Anne. Diane, we're going to swing things over to you. Thinking about textbooks, we know that their preset schedules are happening. So when a student does order their textbooks through the Damascene bookseller, what's the process for picking up those books?
Okay. We will be establishing a location where students that pre-order their textbooks can pick them up. So again, they've been ordered, they've been paid for, they're boxed, you just have to pick them up. And I'm sorry, I don't know the exact location of where pre-orders will be picked up. It's typically in the Hunt Union, but I don't know if we've established that space yet. But it's the Hunt Union's right near the Red Dragon Outfitters where the store is. We're going to be outside most of those days so we can answer those questions. And we'll certainly have that information available to the RAs and the orientation leaders.
Lovely, thank you. Diane, we're going to stay with you for just another moment. Okay. What does a student have access to using their ID card?
Okay, so the ID card is, the card is a very intelligent card. It has a lot of wires and stripes in it that do different things for it. So it is, when you take the campus bus, you would show your card and the bus driver would know that you're a student. If you want to get something out of the library, you would use your card. If you're going to go into the dining hall for takeout or dine in, you would use the card. If you're going to buy something at any retail location, you would do that. If you have Dragon Dollars and you're off campus and you're at a place that takes Dragon Dollars, you could use them there as well. And it is, you know, your official ID card. There might be some reason why someone would need to see your ID card. The important thing is that you should never give your ID card to anybody, particularly to get access to a dining hall. We do kind of consider that to be theft of services because you've paid for a dining hall, but your off-campus friends haven't. So the unlimited dining is for you and not your unlimited friends. So that's basically, you know, you can use it for a variety of purchases, but it is, as I said, your bus pass, your library card, your dining card, and card access. So in some of the buildings, to get into the building, you need to go to a reader, a card reader, and kind of flash your card on that reader, and it will unlock the door for you.
That's great. Well, that just about wraps up our evening here tonight. I want to thank our two presenters, Diane Williams from Oneonta Auxiliary Services and Ann Everett from Residential Community Life. I'd like to thank all of the folks that are in the chat helping to answer questions. I'd like to thank Amanda Finch for welcoming us this evening. We are really looking forward to continuing our Red Dragon Ready summer orientation sessions when we return in just 2 weeks, where you students will be able to meet the dragons, which are our dragon guides, our peer mentors, and we're really excited. Please keep an eye on the chat, as there have been many resources published there, lots of websites and email addresses to use, and we are looking forward to seeing you in just a few weeks. Thanks for joining us and have a good night.